Alrighty. Oh, what is this? Your mission, if you accept it, is to create an entire marketing campaign to promote your brand new Canva master course on email and social media. Yeah. And you have you have only 30 minutes to do so. Let's do this. Some of you may know I have been working very hard on updating my Canva master course. It took me about 5 months to update these 79 videos, but I made it. The course is now ready, it is super up to date and talks about all the latest new Canva features. So now has come the time to let the world know about this brand new version of the course. So in this video, I'm gonna create an entire marketing campaign that will be made out of 6 different visuals that I will be using on 5 different platforms to let people know they can come and purchase the course on Udemy, okay? So this is the project of this video, and we are going to do all of this in less than half an hour. But before I start the timer, there are 2 things I would like to mention to you. The first one is that I'm going to be using my Canva Pro account because I'm going to be relying heavily on this Pro feature called Resize or Magic Resize, which allows me to resize any document into another document. So Canva does the heavy lifting for us. And the second thing I would like to mention before we get started is that I am going to be tapping into Canva designs I created earlier or in the past, you know. I have all of these designs in my Canva account, so I'm going to be leaning on some of them in order to work faster, because this is really the key concept of this video, how to work super fast to create a series of visuals, okay? Now, that being out of the way, let's jump into Canva, let's start the timer and see if we can create this campaign in under 30 minutes. Wish me luck. All right, the time has come. I'm gonna start this timer right there, and I'm gonna start designing my first visual, which is an email header, okay? So an email header, I can start by typing right here, email header in Canva and see what the dimensions are for an email header. So I can see 600 pixels by 200 right here. So I could use these dimensions, but I could also search into my projects with the same keywords to see if I had ever designed an email header, because this is not our first email campaign. So I can see right here that I have this email header for Rondi. I'm gonna click on that and see what it is. Oh yeah, I remember this campaign. So if I go to my file button, I can see what I did here. I doubled the dimensions of the standard email header that Canva was giving me. Remember, 600 by 200. So I'm gonna go back to Canva and create a custom document, which is exactly these dimensions, 1200 by 400 pixels. And then enter to create the document. So this is what Canva is going to give me, all right? So remember I told you I was going to tap into some previously created visuals. I want to go back to my Google form header right here, because this form is already pretty good and this looks kind of like an email header. So what I'm going to do is to select everything here, Command C or Control C to copy everything, and come back to my email header blank document right here and Command V to paste everything. So this is what's gonna happen. The first thing I'm gonna do here is also to rename this. I'm gonna leave this email header Canva Master Course, okay? All right, so I can see that I have a very solid base to work with. I'm gonna stretch this grid so it covers the entire page. And I'm gonna lock the grid, because if I don't lock it, you see, if I try to move my photo right here, I'm gonna press Command here and release my click, my photo will snap into the grid. So I need to lock this grid right here. So now I can move this photo and nothing is gonna happen. Next, I'm gonna recenter this text so it's nice and well aligned right here in the middle. Canva Master Course, complete makeover. I think this text could work. I like that my head is covering a little bit of the text. The only thing I wish to add here is a call to action, kind of like a button, okay? And this reminds me of another project I started in Canva, which was a banner that I created for my Facebook group. It's actually right here, the Rondi Bootcamp banners. So I'm gonna open this document as well. And you see this big button right here. So I'm going to copy this whole thing right here to my email banner document. I'm going to resize this. What I like about this button is that it has a nice shadow. Obviously, I need to change the text. This text is simply going to say enroll today. Enroll today. Okay. All right, I'm going to ungroup and probably resize this button. It's a little bit too big. I'm going to make sure it is centered, but this button is slightly too big. Oh, you see there is the shadow right here kind of goes with it. So I will need to make that smaller as well. And I'm going to group these two elements, so the button and its shadow, and going to position this in the middle. And this one should still be in the middle as well. Okay, the last thing I want to do is to give this button a different color so that it pops a bit more on my visual. So I'm clicking on the color button. I'm going to use the add a new color and the color picker right here to go grab some nice green right here in my t-shirt. There you go. All right, I believe this is the first visual. This is our email header. I'm going to pause the timer. We are going pretty okay so far. This is the first design. Let me quickly recap what we did here. We started with finding the right dimension, okay? Canva was giving me 600 by 200 pixel, but I thought this might be a little bit too low resolution, so I decided to double these dimensions based on the previous email header that we had designed with my team. So I did just that, created a custom document, and then I grabbed everything from my Google Form header and I pasted everything on this document. And you see the heavy lifting was done. I just had to rearrange a few things, add that button from another document. I like this shadow that we have right there going on. We can see there's a sticker right here, so it's really up to us. We could export that as a GIF and use that as the header of our email. So maybe the little arrow will still be moving, or we could export this as a still image and we still see the arrow, so it will still be good. All right, enough talking. Let's resume the timer. Let's get back to it and design our second visual, which is a Facebook group banner. So I'm going to start the timer again. So for this one, I did a little bit of research about what is the current size for Facebook group cover in 2022. And I found this page right here, this article, and I found these dimensions right here, 1640 by 856. So I'm going to be using these dimensions for my project. Okay, and remember we used this document right here with some previous Facebook covers. I believe this is the current Facebook cover of our Facebook group. I'm just going to click on File and double check these are the same dimensions I just found on the internet. So yes, they are. So what I'm going to do is to bring some guides and position my guides right here so that we have the entire, I would say, important visuals fit within that safe zone. Because I have that here, I now know that my Facebook banner needs to have visuals that fit in the same guides as this project right here, because this one is actually the one that we are using on our Facebook group, and it looks great on mobile and on desktop. So I don't need to reinvent the wheel. I'm just going to be using a document that I know have the right dimensions. So what I'm going to do is to actually go back here and start a custom sized document. So this one was 1640 by 856. There we go. So I'm going to create this new document. I'm going to name that CMC22, and that is our Facebook banner. Okay, good. Now, what I'm going to do is to come back to this previously well-designed Facebook banner. I'm going to copy page 2 right here, come back to my Facebook banner right here, and paste that page right here. So we have page number 2. Okay, I'm going to have to bring back my guides to make sure they capture exactly everything that's in here. Okay, and now I should have the guides right here as well. Yes, we do. So I'm going to come back to my first design, my email header, and copy everything in here. But first I need to unlock the background. There, copy everything and bring everything back to my Facebook banner. So right here, I'm going to paste that. All right. And I see that my background was not copied. So yes, now it is. I'm going to right click on this background and detach image. Okay. And also I'm going to get rid of this grid, go to my elements, find a new grid by scrolling all the way down and pasting this background into the new grid. And I can actually lock the grid one more time. Okay, now we are left with this. I'm gonna make sure it is pretty much centered. I'm gonna make this way bigger, about this size. I'm gonna move my photo around. I'm gonna stretch it this time so it's about this size. This text needs to be completely centered, like so. And I'm gonna change this text right here. It should say something else than complete makeover. This time we're going to say 2022 edition. Let's do this all caps, edition now live, okay? And I want to have this on one single line, okay? Make sure it is centered, and the link right here could be something different as well. So ungroup, I'm gonna stretch this box slightly and stretch its shadow accordingly, like so. And now I need to grab the text box and I'm going to move it a bit. And what I'm going to do is to copy the bit.ly that I created. Oops, not in all caps. So bit.ly/Canva master course. So this is a bit.ly I created specially for this campaign. Because I'm going to position this in the center, and then these two, group them and also position them in the center. So now I should have this thing right here completely centered. Just need to move this slightly, maybe reduce its size of my photo so it's actually pointing at the button. Okay, so you see by tilting it slightly, I am pointing at the button. Maybe I can add less space between the shadow and the button so it looks more natural, like so. I'm gonna group everything here, including the little mouse. Okay, this looks pretty good. One last thing I could do is to go to my course thumbnail and add these little hearts flowing here. Okay, so the Facebook group banner cannot be animated. So this is not an option anymore on Facebook. But what I can do is to grab these little hearts. You see there are individual hearts on my thumbnail, but I do have one version where I actually group them, if I remember correctly. Yes, this one. So I'm gonna copy this group of elements, come back to my Facebook banner and paste that right here. So I'm gonna grab them from here and bring them, position them here. So I have a little bit of things going on here. And that is it for the Facebook banner, guys. I'm going to stop the timer here to recap what we have done on this visual. So we have, first of all, made sure we were using the right dimensions. Okay, so for Facebook group banner, I'm using the dimensions 1640 by 856 pixels. And I double checked on Google to see if these were still the accurate exact dimensions for a Facebook group banner. And I found this article that confirmed that to me. Also, I found a previous document I had designed in Canva for my actual Facebook group banner, which triple confirmed that these were the actual dimensions. So I used this design, which is this one right here. I used that as my guide. So you see, I positioned the guide to indicate the safe zone, because all of this that we can see right here in between the two guides are visible both on mobile and desktop for my Facebook group. So I decided, okay, if I design in between these two guides, the important stuff needs to be there so that everything is properly visible when published on Facebook. One last thing I could probably do is to push this a little bit down, like so. Yeah, so that was the last adjustment you could do to make sure the white part of your text is actually within this safe zone. Okay, we are doing some good progress. We are at about 1/3. We have covered 2 documents, so I think we are on time. Now I'm going to resume the timer and move on to the third visual, which is a post for our YouTube community tab. Okay, let's resume the timer, start. And for that, I'm going to start resizing. Okay, so this is my Facebook banner. I'm going to use the resize button right here, and I'm going to find an Instagram post because the YouTube community stories are in the 1:1 aspect ratio. So I'm going to use that, copy and resize. And again, this is a pro feature, and this is what I'm going to get. I'm going to delete the second page right away. I'm going to unlock the background so I can stretch my grid right here. like so. All right, and so I have a concept for this story. Okay, I'm gonna duplicate this, so copying the first page by Command C and then Command V, 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 V. I have 5, maybe 6 pages. Okay, so the concept I have in mind, let's delete all of this for now, is to have Canva Master Course flashing. So 3 words, I would say Canva Master Course. So the first word is just Canva, okay? I'm gonna resize this to maybe 75. And at this stage, I can get rid of the guides. So let's just get them out of the way and make sure this is centered. Okay, position, middle, center. Okay, Canva. This is the first page. I'm gonna reposition it. Maybe I can simply duplicate this page 3 times instead of working with the other pages. So Canva Master Course. And these 3 words are going to flash very fast. And I'm gonna animate all of this in a second. And the 4th page is going to be adding some information. I want to say that this course has been fully updated. Fully updated. Make that slightly bigger. I'm gonna reduce this. Okay, and position this still center middle. Community stories on YouTube is something I use GIF as a format. So I will export this 6 pages as a GIF and there will be some movement. So let's start adding movements. The first 3 slides of my story are going to be flashing very fast with some animation. So there's already movement, but then we get to this page. So I had this idea of finding an element by searching for doodle sticker and filter by graphics. I want to have like this flashing thing, so maybe something like that. I'm gonna stretch that a bit more. Position, center, middle. Yep, this looks good. Want this to be not really touching my frame. Yeah, this looks great. Okay, Canva Master Course, fully updated with some emphasis with the flashing thing right here. Next, I will have the course thumbnail, okay? This is something I've been doing quite a bit, using the thumbnail to drive people to a recent video we have created. So I have uploaded the thumbnail right there. I'm gonna position it right there. The only thing I will do is to add with edit image. My image is selected, edit image, add a slight curved shadow underneath this thumbnail. Okay, apply, and this is good. And then the last page will indicate where I can actually, whoops, should not move this. I'm gonna lock this, where I will actually find the Canva Master Course, okay? So I'm gonna use the same visual right here for consistency. And this text should say something like, get it on Udemy. Okay, so get it now on, and then Udemy. I want to put the Udemy logo here. So what I'm doing, just using my space bar to add some space. You see, like I create some space in this white outline. That is for hosting the Udemy logo. So I'm gonna go to my elements and search for Udemy icon. Make sure I'm using the latest one. Udemy recently rebranded with a new logo. So yeah, about here. Yep, let's position it forward. Get it now on Udemy. Looks good. I'm gonna scale this about this size, making sure it is in the middle. Okay, and I'm gonna tilt this Ronnie photo a bit more. So I'm actually pointing at my group right here. I'm gonna group this. Yeah, get it now on Udemy. And the last thing I could do is to add an arrow sticker. I'm still under my elements, graphics. I want to find a nice animated sticker with an arrow. This one will do just fine. Just gonna resize it, position it at the right spot. So this adds my element of movement to my design. Okay, I can get rid of page 7 and 8 now. And this is what I'm left with. The total length of this animation is 31.3 seconds. This is way too long. So what I suggest you do is first you make sure you show the pages of your project. Okay, so if you don't see them, click on this little arrow right there and go to page 1. Okay, if you click on page 1, you will see 5 seconds here. So that's the base of your animation. If I click on page 2, 3, 4, you see different times indicating here. So I want this to be flashing very fast, okay? So for that, I'm gonna go less than a second, maybe 0.7 second. Okay, 0.7, I'm gonna copy this, Control C, and hit Enter. Okay, so now my first slide is only 0.7 seconds long. Second one needs to be the same duration. So I'm going to paste and hit enter. Third one, same thing, paste, hit enter. Then this one could be a bit longer. This one could be 1.5 seconds. Okay, we need to see this a little bit longer on screen. This one also could be 1.5 seconds. And then the last one right here, instead of 5.7 seconds, could be 2 seconds. All right, so now we have reduced the total length of our animation to 7.1 seconds, which is much better. Now I actually need to add some animations to this design. Okay, so for that, back to page 1, I'm gonna select the text box and go to my animate button. Okay, what I want to do is to have some kind of effect like this one, like the stomp. I'm gonna click on that. Make sure I select animate on enter only, otherwise it will repeat when out, transitioning out. I don't want that. And then I can move to page number 2. Select the text box. I'm gonna give not the same exact effect, but I'm gonna use the pop, this one, and use on enter as well. Then move to the third page. I'm gonna use the same pop effect. Make sure I select the text box, find my pop, and on enter. Next, I'm gonna move to page number 4, fully updated. There's already a movement going on, but I could probably add something right here on this text box. So I click on the text box, going to my animate, and I'm gonna use the block effect. This one right here, on enter. I can change the color if I want because I'm a Canva Pro user. I'm gonna leave it to black. Move on to the next page, which is this one. And this one, I'm gonna tumble it in like so, on enter. Make sure you click on enter. And then the final slide, which is get it now on Udemy, what I want is run it to kind of rise from the bottom, like so. Okay, I'm gonna use this animation on enter, make this way faster, like so. And yeah, I think this is good enough. Let's preview this entire animation. Canva Master Course, fully updated. The thumbnail, get it now on Udemy. All right, this is really good, guys. I'm gonna stop the timer right there. Whew, we are at 19 minutes and 32 seconds. We have about 11 minutes to finish and still 3 visuals to go. Will we make it? Whew, this is getting hotter, guys. All right, I'm really happy about this story right here. So a few things at this point. In order for this to work on your community tab on YouTube, you will need to export this as a GIF. Okay, so if you go to download, do not choose MP4 video, but choose GIF, because otherwise you won't be able to import that, to upload that to your community tab on YouTube. I know that by experience, we always promote our videos with GIF that we upload on the community tab. So YouTube won't accept your MP4 video, at least on this specific tab. All right, so make sure you export your video as a GIF. I'm not gonna download it right now because I want to keep the flow going. And so yeah, nothing really special. I use the resize feature from my Facebook banner to get to an Instagram post, which is the 1:1 aspect ratio, which is the best ratio for your community stories on the community tab on YouTube. All right, let's resume the timer and move on to the 4th design, which is going to be a Facebook post. So resuming the timer, let's go. Okay, so again, I'm going to be using the resize feature because why not? But first, I'm going to rename this. Okay, so this is the community tab YouTube. Okay, good enough. Next, resize. I need a Facebook post. Where is my Facebook post? Right here. Copy and resize. This time I'm going to change the title straight away, so I don't need to do that later. So Facebook post. Like so. I always recommend you guys to really rename your designs because this is going to help you big time. Okay, so Facebook post, where is my save zone? Right here. So this should say, probably too big. Let's reduce it a little bit, maybe to 50. Okay, this should say Canva Master Course. I would like this to fit on 2 lines. And maybe I'm gonna reduce the space between these lines by using the spacing button right here. So letter spacing, no, line spacing, a little bit more. Maybe I move this so I can actually see what I'm doing. Canva Master Course, yeah, This is good. I'm gonna positioning it here. And for this specific design, I'm gonna grab my thumbnail. I'm gonna paste it here. Whoops, I need to lock my grid so that this image doesn't snap into it. So maybe this is a bit too big. Okay, gonna resize it, center, and this one also might be slightly too big. Just center it. Okay, and then I need a line right here at the bottom, something I believe I have already designed on this Facebook banner. For example, I'm gonna copy that. You see how I'm tapping into my previous designs to design faster? I left all of my tabs open right here on top. You don't see them, but they are right there. Yeah, so 2022 edition now live. This is good, slightly too big. I'm gonna go for size 28 and maybe, yeah, still bolded, maybe 24. Yeah, I don't want this information to be too important on the design. Just adding a dash here to create that effect. Yep, all good. So we have Canva Master Course 2022 edition now live. And the last thing I can do from here is to go grab these hearts from my thumbnail. Remember, I had these hearts flowing on the thumbnail. Which page was that? I think page 7. Yes. Okay, I'm gonna copy these, come back to my Facebook post right here. I'm gonna paste these because I have an idea of like making these hearts that are flowing here, continuing to flow and just fly over my text. So this looks good. I just need them to be behind my thumbnail. So I'm gonna click on the thumbnail and bring it forward. And now these hearts seems like they're flowing from the thumbnail, but from behind it and just slightly flying over the title here, which creates a cool little animation. Okay, I don't need the other pages, so 2 to 6 will just go. I just keep one page. It's gonna be a very simple Facebook post. I'm gonna select everything, make sure they are within the safe zone. Yes, it's perfectly within the safe zone. Just the hearts are flowing a little bit over the top, which is completely fine. Okay, so this is ready. I'm gonna stop the timer right here and just quickly go over this specific design. I just use the resize feature again, and then I use the thumbnail, and then I just thought, how can I make this a little bit more fun, a little bit more lively? And I thought about the hearts flowing, which would be a cool effect with the hearts on the thumbnail. Okay, so this is good. We are going to resume the timer and move straight on to design or visual number 5, which is a LinkedIn post. Okay, let's start the timer. And you know, once you have a good concept, you don't need to reinvent the wheel. So my LinkedIn post is going to be almost identical to this Facebook post. So I'm going to resize this to a LinkedIn. So you can type in here, LinkedIn post 1200 by 1200. So back to the 1:1 aspect ratio. Just gonna start by renaming this properly. So this is my LinkedIn post. I'm gonna need to unlock my frame, stretch it like so, and then I can rearrange a couple of things here. So this right here, this can push down a little bit and maybe scale this thumbnail a little bit, center it. So it is still very well aligned with the rest of my document right here. I can move the hearts slightly over. And the last thing I want to do is to add the Udemy logo on this one. Okay, Canva Master Course 2022 edition now live on Udemy. Okay, so I'm going to my elements and I'm going to search for a Udemy icon. I'm going to use this one right here. I can move this down, make this the right size. Make sure it is in the safe zone as well. So there we go. We have our LinkedIn post. Oops. I'm just trying to grab everything. I'm going to lock my frame just to make sure everything is in the safe zone. Pretty much centered. Okay, I'm going to leave it there and stop the timer one more time. We have 5 more minutes to go and one visual. The last visual we are going to create is a story. Stories are great because they can be recycled on Instagram, on Facebook, on LinkedIn. I believe you can also create and post stories on YouTube nowadays. So stories are great because it's like design once and publish everywhere. So I'm gonna create a 3-page story that will give a little bit more information about the course. And I'm mostly going to be using this story on Instagram and on Facebook. I'm not such a big Instagram user, but maybe Diana can hook me up and post it on her Instagram for extra visibility. Yeah, so we have 5 minutes to finish this. I'm pretty confident we will get there. So we are going to start like first resuming the timer. I'm not going to cheat and use my resize button one last time and go for a story. So your story, 1080 by 1920. That is the 9:16 aspect ratio. Okay, so I'm going to start by just simply renaming this properly. So this is your story. I'm going to unlock the grid. And this time again, I'm going to detach the image, get rid of that grid and find another grid. The reason I'm doing this is because sometimes when you stretch your grid, it kind of like distorts it. Okay, so now I'm sure, I'm going to lock it again, that this is the exact good dimensions for your grid for a story. I'm going to stretch everything. My first page is going to be very simple, a reproduction of this Facebook post, LinkedIn post. So maybe this one, I want it exactly in the middle. Just need to adjust the hearts so they fly towards my text right there. And this group right here is going to be at the bottom of my page. Let's make sure it is centered. Okay. And maybe I can stretch that a little bit bigger. I'm going to group it and center it. Okay, this is my first page. Maybe I move this down slightly so the hearts still flow over them. And I can move this one down a little bit more like so. Okay, I have my first page. I'm going to duplicate that page, maybe twice. And moving on to the second page of this story. Okay, so page number 2 right here. I'm going to delete all of these elements. And this time I want to give more information about what's in the course. So there are actually 17 projects that we are going to be designing in this Canva Master Course 2022 edition. So there's a bunch of different projects, video projects, social media projects, presentation, websites, etc., etc. So I want to give that indication to people that we are going to be using Canva to design 17 projects. So maybe here we could add a Canva logo, okay, a big Canva logo. They have such a beautiful logo that why not using it, right? So I'm going to use the Canva round gradient logo, make sure it is centered. And I want to add a little bit of personality to this. So my photo, I have this folder right here with all of my photos, and I have this one which will work perfectly, which is a photo of myself that I took with some big round thing in my hand. I don't remember what it was exactly, but I have this really cool photo right there that I can now use. Let me zoom out a bit. That I can now use for rounded logos like this one. So what I'm trying to do here is to adjust my photo so it fits the Canva logo perfectly. So I would probably have to rotate it slightly, like so, and keep adjusting until this looks right. Okay, maybe push it down slightly. Oh, I can see a little bit here. Okay, it is not completely perfect, but I believe if we zoom out a bit, it won't be too much of an issue. So maybe there. What's important is that you don't see too much of the space between my hand and the logo. Okay, let's adjust it there. Okay, zooming out. We need to finish this project. We have less than a minute, so let's rush to this. I'm gonna bring this up like so and start working on my last page right here. So the last page is going to give us some information about what's in the course. So design, and then second, design your, and then column. I'm gonna put these two boxes like so. I'm gonna group them, make that bigger, push that to this side, and bring this other photo of myself. You see this one right here. I'm gonna bring this forward and then create a last text box right here that I had prepared the text for. I'm gonna zoom out slightly, make this one slightly bigger, And then this one says, design your brand style guide, profile picture, TikTok video, website, pitch deck, etc. All right, the story is finished. Let's stop the timer. 30 minutes and 14 seconds, slightly over. I mean, almost 14 seconds. This was very close, but I think we did a great job. Even with this story right here, Canva Master Course, 17 projects with Canva, design your brand style guide, your profile picture, your TikTok videos, your website, your pitch deck, etc. All right, guys, I think we made it. We designed an entire marketing campaign composed of 6 different visuals that we will be pushing on 5 different platforms to get people to buy the new Canva Master Course. And by all means, this is a real course. This is a real project. I always use real life examples to create our tutorials. I'm not a big believer of creating something for the sake of creating something, and you shouldn't either. So always use stuff that you will actually need in your business. So for those of you interested in checking the Canva Master Course, I will have a link in the description of this video for you with a special price for you to join the course and enroll the course. If you're already a student of my previous Canva Master Course, just revisit it. It will be free for you because I uploaded the course in the same actual course. So everything will be there for you. And if you want to see these visuals in action, feel free to visit our Facebook group, our YouTube community tab, or follow us to get the stories on IG and on Facebook. I will be using these visuals, so yeah, they have been made for a good reason. Thank you for watching until the end. I really appreciate that. I will leave a link right there to a playlist about how to use Canva to design for social media. Also, I will have another link right here at the bottom with our Canva Pro affiliate link. That is, if you want to use the resize function, you will need Canva Pro, so check it out. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video.